I'm travelling with my good friend and overland tour guide Dave van Graan, and I'm in Zimbabwe. But 47 years ago, I stood right here. I'm mostly here to find out if Zimbabwe is ready for tourists once again. And I've been on the road now for about 2 weeks, having visited Great Zimbabwe, Motopos and Rhodes Grave, the Owangi National Park, and Victoria Falls. From Victoria Falls, we're heading east, and not far from the falls it starts getting very, very hilly, and of course very hilly as the road descends towards Lake Kariba, which is where I'm going to now. And it's exciting for me because I've never actually seen Lake Kariba apart from the dam wall itself, and that was about 10-12 years ago. So this is for me the highlight of this particular trip.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. Looking for tsetse fly?
Yes.
We try and catch the fly now.
We've been stopped by a man holding a small net and a can of fly spray. Now I know that tsetse flies like to hide in the wheel arches and interiors of motor vehicles, but this seems a puny and pathetic way of trying to control flies.
Will you spray inside there or what?
No.
Huh?
Inside is where they can hide.
Inside the car?
Yes.
I have seen a few
Yes,
tsetse
bye.
fly during the day, but haven't been bitten, which means that there are probably none inside the vehicle. But the day is coming to a close, and it's time to find a place, pull over, and set up camp.
Right, we're trying to find ourselves a camping spot for the night, and our challenge has been actually to find a spot where there are no other people, because there are villages everywhere. So I'm going to go now. I found a spot which looks a little bit open because the bush is very, very dense. Yeah, come this way up here. If you want to give yourself a little bit of extra clearance, press the button, not that one, to the right. Press that. There you go. There you go.
Ah, nice piece of mapani. This makes fantastic firewood.
It's not very straight, not very flat. Ah, this is going to work. I'm now looking for a flat bit. It's got quite a bit of a slope. In fact, that bit and around those trees there is actually flatter. Yeah,
Lekker.
we did well. The road's quite good.
You're lying. I'm not stretching because I'm tired.
Right. After a quite an easy drive, actually, about 100 kilometers from the main road, we're now halfway to Matusadona. We've had to drive off the road, and we're enjoying a bush camp in the middle of nowhere tonight. The fire is going, and there is steak promised. Right, early in the morning, sun has just come up. We picked a camp. We just pulled over the side of the road last night. Still on our way east. We're now south of Lake Kariba, heading towards Matusadona and Kariba. Pulled over the side of the road. It's okay to do that certainly it is in Botswana, Zimbabwe, Namibia. I wouldn't do it in South Africa. I just don't think it's safe enough in South Africa to pull over the road, side of the road and camp. Some of the etiquette about bush camping. You are in effect camping in somebody's backyard. You will likely get people, particularly children, come and visit you. Somebody once said to me that they had done this, and they had asked why the local people were so curious in a campsite. And that person said, imagine if you were sitting in your home and a Boeing landed nearby and everybody climbed out and started making themselves temporary home. Wouldn't you be curious? And I suppose he's right. And a place like this is very, very remote. We are a big deal. And there are just two of us. So imagine a big group, you're going to get curious onlookers. And generally speaking, it's not a problem. Generally speaking, security is not a problem. Just create yourself into a little laager, be a bit mindful of security, but don't be paranoid, because generally it's not an issue. It's a good idea to go and ask permission, but it's sometimes just not possible. In Angola, it's essential. Botswana, it's a good idea. But if you do, the chances are they'll actually not only welcome you, probably bring you something like water, something like that, firewood, just their way of saying, welcome to our world. I'm coming.
Some ways back to the church you can go.
Zimbabwe is a country until recently in economic and political turmoil. Well, I suppose in a way it still is, but until recently it wasn't a country I felt comfortable about visiting. So here I am in Zimbabwe to find out if my fears are anything to worry about. Well, 7:05. The rush hour has started. Well, started an hour ago. But all I can hear are woodpeckers. So far, Zimbabwe has been a surprise, and I must tell you, a pleasant surprise. Incredibly friendly people, sometimes overly friendly, which is wonderful to see. It's almost as if, because of the terrible past few years, where towns like, the tourist meccas of Zimbabwe, like Victoria Falls, were completely empty, virtually deserted. People are coming back, things are getting going again, and it's almost as if the people are saying, wow, it wasn't very good, it wasn't very nice without the tourists. Let's welcome them back. And that has certainly been the case here in Zimbabwe. Personally, travelling in Africa is as much about these small animal encounters as anything else. This is a puff adder, unfortunately badly injured by the locals. And this is a common chameleon, probably my favourite animal in the whole world. But this one doesn't like me as much as I like him. We're travelling further and further east towards Kariba, and as we do so, the road is deteriorating rapidly. So the absolute magic part about travelling, this kind of vehicular travelling, just driving in a road you've never been on before, suddenly you come across this fantastic sight, this fantastic valley. Best thing in the world doing this. Right, this morning the road to Matusadona National Park has suddenly deteriorated, and here is where my single biggest criticism of Land Rover Discovery-3 and 4 comes in. The road ahead of me is rough, sandy, but not so rough that I can't do 50 k's an hour, 60 k's an hour. But it's got high middle monarchy. So I'd like to press my suspension height to give myself just a little bit of extra clearance. Speed too high to raise suspension. So now I must slow down. I'm doing 51. I'm slowed down to 40 or so. Press the button.
off-road height selected. Now I've got confidence. Now I know that I'm not going to smack anything underneath the vehicle. And I accelerate to 50, slow down or vehicle will lower. I could easily do 55 on this road. It's smooth, but it's normal height selected, 55 k's an hour. And look at the kind of road I'm on. It's taken, what time did we leave? 10 past 8 this morning, 9, 10, 11. So far 3 hours it'll be with 10 kilometers to go. 3.5 hours to do. How many kilometers was that?
70.
About 70 kilometers. So
Yeah.
I feel like a little child on its way to the seaside, because the Bumi Hills are in front of us, and I just know that when we squeeze between them, we're going to see the sea. Well, Lake Kariba, Zimbabwe Sea, and it's big. It's bigger than 100 ponds.
We've stumbled upon Bumi Hills Hotel and Resort, exactly what we were not looking for.
Place like this.
But the roads in the area are a bit difficult to figure out, so we thought we would get out and have a look anyway. And it's from the lodge that I get my first proper view of the lake. And it is enormous. You see, Bumi Hills isn't really my cup of tea. Well, mainly because I'm not rich enough to stay at this kind of lodge. So we don't stay long, and we head down to the water's edge. What an absolutely idyllic situation this is. Kariba. There are some elephants over there grazing. Side of the 4 elephants there, including young. Fish eagle. Gentle breeze blowing. But now the campsite is another 2 hours drive at a place called Tiger Bay. And I'm a bit reluctant to drive that way because we are running a little bit short on fuel. The going has been very slow, quite rough. But because we bush camped last night, I need some way of washing. There's plenty of water to wash in, but I must say I'm a little nervous about crocodiles. So we've got to make up our mind, decide what to do. Well, Dave and I have struck it lucky. From driving around Bumi Hills and finding that very beautiful and extremely expensive luxury lodge, we decided to come here. This is Tiger Bay. We walked in and a gentleman greeted us and said, "Welcome to Tiger Bay." And we discovered his lodge. Instead of $400 a night, $85 a night. And what do you get for that? 3 meals a day. And this. You know, I have photographs of my father. He came here when I was about 8 years old. And I remember so clearly the photographs of the trees and him holding a bream. And the bream was about this big. And that I have this ingrained image in my head. And since the day I saw that, I thought to myself, I have to go one day to Kariba. I just don't know why it's taken me 40 plus years to come here. Now, those of you who have seen my television programs before this one will know that I call it fishing. I don't call it catching. But this time, it's going to be different. I don't know why. It's going to be different.
a small bream. There you go. Got another one.
Yeah.
Quite. Hold him firmly. Come on. I want to put him back. And these things are those beautiful teeth. Beautiful fins. Look at that. Exquisitely beautiful fish. And they're the primary predator in Kariba. And off you go. There you go. Now that was a day's fishing. I caught a tiger fish. It might have been a tiddler, but it was still a tiger fish. Because I lost count.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
10.
10.
How many did you catch?
Got 2.
And how many did you catch?
1.
So that leaves?
The biggest one.
Biggest one. It's yours. The rest is yours.
Good.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
Lovely day.
Thank you.
Yeah, these are red-breasted tilapia.
Yeah, that one, yeah.
Yeah. So now I think we'll go and photograph the sunset. Exquisite shapes, tones, colors. And these are almost all mopani. Mopani is a very, very heavy wood, makes beautiful firewood. And these have been here since the dam was filled in the mid-1950s. And they're still here, which just goes to show you how tough that wood is.
Did you enjoy that? Then please subscribe. If you'd like to take our relationship to the next level from just $1 a month to support my productions, or if you'd like to download everything I've ever made, go to forexoverland.com.